So someone just started drilling outside my room right when I'm about to film this video. Is there no limit to how annoying these humans can be? I did very briefly consider calling this video the light side of the INTJ. Any introvert can be susceptible to secluding themselves to the point of isolation, but it's especially the case for INTJs. Having extroverted feeling as their polar function or worst function can make them blind to the admittedly bizarre rules of the social realm. Plus, having introverted intuition as your top function kind of makes you feel like an alien in a human suit. It's difficult to come across an INTJ who isn't intellectual in some way. Now, that's not the same thing as being academic or nerdy. It describes the tendency of a person to analyze or intellectualize something, even when that's not the best approach. Especially though with INTJs, they process the world in a very unusual and abstract way. One that doesn't lend itself very well to being verbalized. An unusual way of viewing the world. Not naturally in tune with social rituals and rules. Often intellectual. These factors, as well as other things as well, can entrap them within an ivory tower of their own construction. They lose touch with reality and people down at the ground level. One way this can manifest is with conspiracy theories. Introverted intuition is brilliant at connecting the dots together. It can create a line of best fit through data points, and importantly, tie seemingly unrelated events together with an elegant narrative and explanation. The thing is, sometimes the dots shouldn't be connected, and the data points are unrelated. Their explanations can sometimes be so elegant that it's kind of difficult to not believe them. This is one of the drawbacks with out of control, isolated and unchecked introverted intuition. SE inferior. I feel kind of obligated to mention this point, even though I've actually brought it up in every video in the series so far. And that is that intuitive types can often lose touch with common sense or become ungrounded and unrealistic. Even the best scheming mastermind, if they want to see their plans come to fruition, have to acknowledge that plans will never work out precisely the way you expect them to, or hope they will. And yes, that is including the hundreds of contingency plans that INTJs put in place as well. I am speaking as a relentless planner myself, so I'm not against that approach. I just am sadly aware of the dangers and limitations sometimes. Sitting in your bedroom espousing theories about the world can often distract you from the fact that theories are an approximation of the way the world really is. And in reality, it's very messy, irrational, and kind of annoying. The spider. He is the Napoleon of crime, Watson. He is the organizer of half that is evil, and of nearly all that is undetected in this great city. He is a genius, a philosopher, an abstract thinker. He has a brain of the first order. He sits motionless, like a spider, in the center of its web. But that web has 1,000 radiations, and he knows well every quiver of each of them. He does little himself. He only plans. INTJs, whether they are making use of their network of contacts or hiring people for a job, can easily fall into dehumanizing people. They first see the utility of a person, how they could function as a cog in the INTJ's machine, like chess pieces that have different attributes. Like the ESTJs and the ENTJs who have introverted feeling as their lowest function, INTJs, when looking at others, can discount the impact that individual values and motivations have on people. The irony being that INTJs are deeply motivated by their own values, and as I've said in a previous video, I don't remember which one it is, they are this paradox of trying to improve things logically and efficiently whilst being driven by very individual and personal values. For example, if an INTJ is creating something, a product, a piece of art, a piece of music, a report for a company, they will have this attachment to the way they think it should be, whether that's a particular kind of aesthetic they think the product should have. And although in many cases, maybe most cases, that preference can be justified logically, it does still come from a fundamentally irrational place. I would say that the contribution of introverted feeling to an INTJ's approach to life in general is very underestimated, especially by themselves. You could make the case that when it comes to introverted feeling, that INTJs are the most effective with it because it's in the third slot, which they want to satisfy and are motivated and driven by, yet it doesn't dominate their life. So a lot of the so-called, by me, negative or dark traits are actually the points that make a person unique and valuable to the world. INTJs are unconventional in all ways. This includes being able to create unconventional solutions to very important problems and seeing ways forward that other people simply can't. But it's always important to make sure that unconventional doesn't spill over into unhealthy.